Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to the Big Buck Legends One-on-One Podcast.
All right, I think all the levels are set.
go. Let's go.
Here's your host, Jason Toy.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of our Big Buck Legends One-on-One Podcast. Jason Toy here with you. Before we jump into things, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for enjoying great music with the country legends and hearing the great stories. Don't forget to tell a friend, have them share the show, and make sure they subscribe and follow us on all your favorite podcasting outlets. This week, we are sitting down with the great Clay Walker. Clay's got some brand new stuff out now, a song that is very special to him because it was written by Toby Keith and Scotty Emmerich, and we'll talk with him about that. Plus, we'll check in with him on the kids and on his continued fundraising efforts to battle MS with his foundation, too. So sit back, relax, enjoy our conversation with the great Clay Walker. Big Buck Country 101.5, and I'll tell you what, it's great when we catch up with this guy. He has had a 30-plus year career of hits in country music. He's got some new stuff out now. He's definitely staying busy. The great Clay Walker. How are you, buddy?
And I'm great, Jason, and thank you for having me on.
Hey, it's great to catch up with you again. I know you got some new stuff we're going to talk about here in just a bit, but before we get rolling, I got to ask, how's the family? How are the kids doing?
Man, they are fantastic. You know, it's growing like weeds, and we have. I love every bit of it. You know, we got 4 boys and a girl, and the girl rules the roost. Just the way it should be.
Are any of them showing the country music side of things or the musical side?
Man, they're all musical. You know, every one of them plays and sings and performs. The other night they did their first concert with me, and they actually, what I say with me, they opened the show.
Wow!
And so it was crazy to watch them do it that well. And anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying where it has taken them, and you know, it's not something I ever pushed on them. They just kind of gravitated to it.
Oh yeah! All right, Clay Walker's here with us. What's the? Do they have a band name yet, or what are they going by?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You might have something there for you, right?
Well, you know, in country music, there's no retirement. You know, so they might be my retirement program in 30 years.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was getting ready to say that. Hey, Clay, let's talk a little bit about this. And, you know, I know you started kind of, I guess you could say, celebration last year, rolling into this year, 30 years of hits. You've had 5 number ones that hit 30 years ago coming up this year. So congratulations on that. When you go back and look at things, you realize the longevity that you've had in a business that can, you know, you can be there one day and gone the next.
Well, there's a lot of things that factor into the success of that. And, you know, the biggest one is the fans. You know, they let you know, if they like it or not. And that's who you go by. So
yeah,
I've been very blessed, and I'm not trying to be, like sound like everybody else that says that, or there's sincerity there. And country music radio, you know, has been the absolutely driving force, you know, behind the relationship with myself and the fans, and you know, those stories and those songs, you know, that people find themselves in when they listen. You know, there's a deep appreciation, you know, for the songwriters, and I've written some of those songs too. So it's like I said, a lot of factors, a lot of elements that contribute to somebody being in this business as long as I have, and it's weird, you know. I started out when I was really young, and so I'm still young, you know, by my opinion. You know, but I still feel like there's a lot of gas left in the tank and a lot of desire to record new music that inspires fans. This latest song that I recorded, Toby Keith and Scotty Emmerich wrote it, and it's called "I Know She Hung the Moon." And the fans have responded overwhelmingly positive about it, and I feel like they've been waiting for me to do a song that sounds like the 90s, like the songs that we all cut. And I mean, people point to the 90s because it was such an important inflection, you know, in the life cycle of country music. And some of the greatest artists, you know, that we know, you know, the Randy Travises, George Straits, Garth Brooks, Clint Black. I mean, you look at some of the really iconic people that we think of today as icons, and they exploded in the '90s, and I got to ride on their coattails. That was a big piece of it too, another element, if you will, that I didn't have to pave the way. I was getting to ride along, so I'm a pretty lucky guy.
A buddy of mine, Marty Smith, I mean, you probably know Marty from ESPN and other things as well. He talking recently about doing another book and talked about making the class of '89 when it comes to country music. And a lot of those people you talked about started at '89 and then carried it all through the '90s for everybody. People go back and look. It was we talk about icons, but you included in this and everybody from that 1989 through the end of the 1990s. It was just huge.
Well, I got to throw Mark Chestnut in there too.
Yeah.
Then it's going to go '89.
There you go. I like that.
I think I was '93. But it's the when I was growing up, Mark was 6 or 7 years older than I am, and my dad used to take me out to the clubs because I was too young to get in, and I wanted to go hear Mark sing. And I just remember sitting there, my dad drinking a beer and me drinking a cherry Coke, and wanting a beer.
You had your own bottle. You had your own bottle, right?
I know, but Mark would be on stage singing, and I remember looking at my dad one night. I said, "I'll never be able to sing that good." And he said, "Son," he goes, "You're just as good a singer as Mark." He goes, "You'll never sing like Mark, and he'll never sing like you." And I remember him saying it so well, and he was so right. That you have to have your own style, and so that was man. I got to tell you, it seems like yesterday, and I know people say that a lot, but I can still smell, what the barroom smelled like, in my memory, and I wouldn't trade that for anything, man. I feel sorry for a lot of the people that are making it today, like the methodology that they have to do it in.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's just what it is, but when I was coming up, you had to play the bars, you had to get your chops, on stage, earning it that way. People still earn it, but man, to this day, like I was in Ireland last year. I'd never been, and I had one desire, and that was to go in the pubs and get up and sing, and I did it. And I'd go in the pubs, and I'd put my name in the hat. You had to sign up for open mic night. And I just got the guitar, and I just started singing, and people would just like look their heads like this, and it was a great experience. But man, that's one that I wish that everybody still had, is that they had to go in those bars and do it, because man, those memories are the most indelible ones to me.
And like you said, it's what builds you to where you are today to be able to do that, which is fantastic. Hey, back on the song real quick. I know your time is short here today, and I appreciate it, but a song by Toby and Scotty Emmerich, those two have teamed up for great music their entire careers. But I know you were tight with Toby too as well. So how special is it to be able to do one of these songs by Toby, who obviously we're all still mourning on his passing too? But how special is it for you?
Well, it's very special. First of all, Toby was a great songwriter. A lot of people don't know this, but Toby Keith is the most wealthy male country music singer. Dolly Parton's the most wealthy, but he's second. A lot of that was contributed to all the publishing, all the great songs he wrote. He wrote everything that he sang, just about. And so getting this song from him and Scotty, Toby wanted me to do this song. He sang it to me a couple of years ago, and I said, man, I can't believe he'd never released that as a single. And I said, it sounds like a George Strait song, and he goes, it sounds like a Clay Walker song. That's how it happened.
Those two together, and you talked about that, and the library, and Toby's obviously one of the great songwriters there too, but him and Scotty together came up with some iconic stuff. And, they both have had long, great careers, performance aside, just songwriting between those two together.
Yeah. And I texted Scotty when I got ready to record it, and I asked for the demo, because Scotty actually sang the demo.
Okay.
So I got the demo from Scotty, and we went and recorded it, and I got it recorded in December. and Toby got to hear it before he passed away. So that's another nugget. It is just so hard to believe he's gone. I mean, and I think people are going to be saying that for a while, but we lost so many people in a short amount of time. I mean, we lost Jimmy Buffett, Toby, Irv Woolsey here recently, great iconic country music manager. I mean, it's just, there's a plethora of people. I mean, there's like 5 or 6. And I was just telling my best friend yesterday, this is so weird. George Strait loses his manager, his lifelong fiddle player, and his road manager within, a couple of months.
Yep.
It's just crazy. But I've not seen this many people pass away this fast, at least not in my circle. And so it gives you pause, but at the same time, we trudge on, and it's great that we have some pieces like this song left, this, I Know She Hung the Moon, that Toby wrote and I get to sing. And it's been a really big pleaser to the fan base that I've had for so many years. They're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've been waiting for you to do for a while. So here it is.
Well, and the great thing about it is that Toby was able to put his stamp of approval on it too, which was fantastic for you.
Yeah, you can't ask to get a better check mark than that. Toby and I have the same manager, TK Kimbrell, and so there's a lot of good positive energy, going on about this, and again, it's wonderful to be able to bring Toby's name and his iconic power into this conversation because he wrote this song, and that's not lost on me either.
All right. Hey, Clay, I appreciate it. Thank you as always. I know we could do this a whole lot longer here, and I know time is tight. Congratulations on the new single and everything you continue to do to raise funds for MS too with your foundation, and we look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Jason, the same here, man. And thank you for a wonderful interview. Let's do this again soon. We have a bunch of new music coming, so we should get the opportunity.
You got a home here with us. We look forward to it.
Thank you, brother.
Well, there you have it, folks. Clay Walker on our Big Buck Legends one-on-one podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with great folks out there. All those great country music legend lovers out there. We've got more coming to you each week this year in 2024. For our entire Big Buck family, God bless you all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, son, the party's over.
This has been a Big Buck Legends one-on-one podcast.
Thank you for checking us out. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast.
Okay, I need to tell you 2 things.
A production of Kindred Digital in association with Toy Production Services. All rights reserved. Big Buck Country 1015.